Hello, I'm Nicholas Nieves, and today we'll be discussing between high and low wing aircraft and the pros and cons regarding each. The pros of high wing aircraft are relatively simple to understand because of the nature of the wings being higher above the pilot. There's better visibility towards the ground. They incur less ground effect because the wings are no longer not closer to the ground, and during a landing, you will not incur as much ground effect. They are said to be more aerodynamically stable. The center lift is higher, which results in more difficulty in stalling and results in less likeliness of resulting a stall into a spin. There's also greater ground clearance and debris protection, so when you're taxiing, you don't have to worry as much about like taxi signs and other obstacles that you may encounter while you're taxiing. High-wing aircraft and their cons are listed below. Here are some of the cons that I found are more pertinent to a pilot learning to fly a plane. They are known to be less controllable but more inherently stable, so it will become more difficult when you are training in your commercial ratings to perform maneuvers such as lazy eights and your power off 180s. Fueling is also more difficult and will result in you having to have some sort of ladder or device to get you above the plane and get the fueling to the fuel tanks. They also take less of an impact in the event of emergency landing, so if you were to land in a field, you would end up having to take a brunt of the force to the landing gear and the empennage instead of the wings as you would find in the low wing aircraft. It's also harder to gauge the distance of the wings to obstacles, so in the event of you taxiing next to another plane, it'd be harder to see how close the wing is to the other aircraft wing. The pros of low-wing aircraft. Visibility is geared more towards upward and around the aircraft, so when flying in the air, you could see more aircraft around you. They also take more impact in the event of emergency landing because the brunt of the landing is in the wings, empennage, and landing gears. The potential to float on water is also increased with the wings, and you have more time to get out of the plane in the event of emergency. There's also the cons of low-wing aircraft. Obstacle clearance is more difficult, and you have to worry more when you're taxiing on the ground with low-wing aircraft. You're more likely to hit signs and other obstacles on the airport. It's more difficult to see the airport for landings when you're in the downwind for landings, and when you're looking for that 45 to make your base turn to final. It's also more difficult to reach the fuel sumps. You'll have to lay on the ground in order to get them, and also have an increased ground effect.